Well, here we are, the Santa Claus 3, the movie that I was expecting to be even more horrible than the Santa Claus 2, and it was. I think this is actually the first time I've ever seen this movie, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's a movie that didn't need to be made. I mean, the first movie was okay-ish, it had some charm to it, somewhat. And the second one yeah, was pretty much unwatchable, I think. And this one, well, it's at least equally as bad as the second one. And yeah, honestly, I'm wondering why did they even make this movie? I mean, they should have stopped at the first one. So I would rate this movie 3.5, maybe a 4 out of 10, roughly the same as the second one. And in this movie, the plot is basically we have Jack Frost, who is the villain, and he wants to steal Santa's job. He manipulates the other holiday icons, he annoys the elves, he sabotages the Christmas preparations, and eventually he tricks Scott into activating something that is called the Escape Clause, which is the subtitle of the movie, the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause. And basically, it's a magical reset button that lets someone else become Santa. And, well, pretty much Jack Frost wants to become Santa. That's what it is. The idea in itself, well, it's not that bad. It's pretty cool, maybe. And what we would have gotten was a Christmas time travel what if kind of story. And yeah, it could have been amazing, I think. But the movie does the same thing it does in the second one. It just doesn't commit to one story. It's all over the place. Once again, I'm watching at least two different movies at the same time. They don't know what they're doing. So it's never really explored. It just rushes through it, and the most interesting concept of the movie just is wasted in 5 minutes or so, I think. Now, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And of course, Tim Allen as Santa Claus, well, I think he is a really good Santa Claus. He does a really good job. We have Elizabeth Mitchell as Mrs. Santa Claus doing a good job as well. Visually, the movie feels charming, I think, but that's not where the problem lies with in any of these movies. I mean, the costumes, the hair and the makeup, it looks very festive. It looks very Christmassy, and you can definitely sense that the people who are, in charge of costumes and basically behind the scenes stuff, they did their jobs. Let me put it that way. And like I said, Tim Allen and Elizabeth Mitchell, they do a good job. They try to bring some heart to the movie. And yeah, for sure, the escape clause, alternate reality is a cool concept, at least for the short period that it appears in the movie. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't really commit too much, and the movie doesn't really build anything meaningful from that idea, which is, well, sad, I think. And then, that's basically where it stops. Then the movie just falls apart like the second movie. We have Jack Frost, played by Martin Short. I mean, Martin Short, he's talented. But the writing, I feel, doesn't do him any favor. They make Jack Frost, less of a clever villain and more of an irritating prankster. And, he is just really annoying, just like many of the elves in the movie. He feels very cruel and his cruelty is mostly displayed by him just freezing things for no reason. He's gaslighting the elves, sabotaging decorations. He's basically a hyperactive child. That's what he is. For example, there's a moment early on where he literally freezes a baby's face mid cry to look like a photo op. Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but it really isn't. Doesn't really belong in a Christmas movie. They should have done something different in terms of, him being a villain. It feels really mean-spirited. It feels weird and out of place. It's never really charming. It's not clever. It just feels uncomfortable. And basically, Jack Frost as the villain, he just spends the whole movie doing petty stuff. He's just being annoying And finally, when he becomes Santa Claus or Santa Frost, you know, it lasts for like 10 minutes and it feels like it's a parody, it feels like a spoof. Yeah, it goes nowhere basically. So Jack Frost, as a villain, just annoying ass pretty much. And like the second movie, we have the North Pole chaos. Everything in the North Pole just feels loud and plastic and cheap. I mean, it does look Christmassy, sure, but the elves, oh my god, they look bored. The jokes feel childish, and the tone, it's really chaotic, and yeah, nothing lands really emotionally. And yeah, just like the second movie, it all feels, well, pretty bad, even worse than the second movie, I would say. And then we have, Bernard missing. I mean, Bernard was definitely not my favorite character in the movie, but at least he was a little bit more grounded than all the other elves together. And Bernard not being in this movie is I think a bigger blow for this movie than, people might like to admit. I mean, he was calm and he had some grounded energy, which was essential to these movies because these movies are, a little bit all over the place. They're chaotic and wild. So, you need to have a character that is a little bit more grounded. And replacing him with Curtis, that was a mistake. I mean, that guy, he's loud, he's annoying, he's irritating, he's not funny. I mean, what were they thinking? He doesn't feel like the leader, even though he is. He's barely a character. They should not have put him in the movie. They should have done something different. Even if they would cut out Bernard, they should have done something different. I mean, Bernard was the leader of the elf community. Curtis, no, he's just annoying. And then let's talk about the humor, the jokes. This movie tries so incredibly hard to be funny, and it fails, well, pretty much every time. Let's give you some examples. The farting reindeer from the second movie, well, they return because apparently that's the height of comedy. Apparently that's supposed to be funny. I mean, it's funny if you're 5 years old, I guess. I mean, then we get Chad, the mentally scrambled reindeer. He's back again, still as useless as ever. It's not charming at all. And then, there's the scene where Jack Frost does forced puns. Like, you're skating on thin ice. Like, come on, man. That's not funny. It's cringy. And then there's Carol's parents. She's apparently pregnant. The in-laws come to visit, so her parents visit, and they basically, try to say that the North Pole is Canada. So it's basically a Canada simulator, and everything just feels so off. It feels weird. Plastic snow, fake maple syrup. I mean, it goes on forever, and it's just not funny. Not once, at least. I don't think it's funny at all. The humor isn't humor. It's just loudness. It's noise it's noise in the movie. That's what it is. It's no, it's not good. And then the rest of the cast. I mean, all of the cast. You can just literally see everybody struggling to give a damn about this movie. I mean, everybody looks miserable. The elves, the children, they stare blankly, even when they're supposed to be excited. There's no joy in this movie. They feel, yeah, like I said, nobody really cares. And you can tell that everyone is trying to push through the scenes. They don't even believe the scenes. They don't even believe in the movie. And like I said, Tim Allen, Elizabeth Mitchell, they do their best. They feel charming and they are, heartfelt, but even they seem, kind of tired and also, yeah, they don't really seem to care that much. CG wise, the visual tone, I think it's worse than the second movie. It's not good. Some of the effects look like they were taken straight from, a mid 2000 Disney Channel. Yeah, and the whole North Pole, like I said, it's just drenched in neon blue kitsch. It's not good. It's well terrible to look at really. It feels really cheap and soulless. I mean, here's the frustrating thing about this movie, just like the second one, it could have been so much more. It could have been actually a good movie, but it just isn't. The escape clause alternative timeline, where Scott never became Santa. It could have been something really cool, but they didn't really explore it too much. The regret, the choices, responsibility. Anything that has a little bit more weight to it. Instead, we get this slapstick, watered down version of a funny Christmas movie. Really, it's forgettable. And I think behind the scenes, you get the sense that no one really wanted to make this movie, and I get why, because the movie sucks big time. And whether it was the writers or producers or the studio, something in the process made the film lean into pure immaturity rather than a Christmas movie with spirit and heart and charm. So, I mean, if you have kids under 10, they might enjoy this movie, I guess, kinda. But for anyone else, oof, if you like the first one, maybe the second one, chances are you will not like this one. I didn't like this one, didn't like the second one, and I think most people won't like this at all. It's loud, it's rushed, it's really childish. Jack Frost is annoying instead of fun. The jokes don't land. The North Pole scenes just keep dragging. And the best idea, the escape clause, is just a wasted idea, wasted potential. So, if you want to revisit this franchise, rewatch the first movie, I guess. But the second and definitely the third one, don't watch it. You're not missing anything. But then again, that's just my take on the movie. Didn't like it. I would watch a different Christmas movie. And yeah, let me know what you think of this movie. I hope this review was helpful. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.